You probably noticed this is the third time we're dealing with the texts around the baptism of Jesus. This time it's told in order to set up his temptation in the desert. What I want to do with this text this time is help the audience to see some possible connections between the texts. God declares Jesus, his son, his beloved. And what I would like to portray as the temptation for Jesus is to believe that he is not God's son, but to bow to the testing of Satan in the desert. After I perform this, I'll make some other comments about what I think is going on. And it was so. Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and he was baptized by John in the Jordan. And as he was coming up out of the waters, he saw the heavens ripped open, and the Spirit, like a dove, coming down on him. And there was a voice from the heavens, "You are my beloved Son, with whom I am so pleased." And the Spirit drives him into the desert. He was in the desert for 40 days, tested by Satan, and surrounded by the wild beasts, and angels were serving him. Now, after John was handed over, Jesus came into Galilee, proclaiming the good news of God and saying, "The opportune time has arrived, and the empire that God brings has drawn near. Turn around and courageously trust in the good news." You'll notice that I also think that when Jesus is surrounded by the wild beasts, it's not because they're threatening him, but because he is able to live at peace with them. He is the new Adam, back understanding what it means to be a child of God, and not bowing to the temptation to make himself God. Throughout Mark's gospel, he resists pretty strongly the temptation to speak of himself in those strong terms. The narrator speaks of Jesus as Son of God. God, in this text, announces Jesus as Son of God. Demons proclaim that or things like it. But Jesus has what Elizabeth Malbin, in her wonderful book, Mark's Jesus, calls a deflecting Christology. When the narrator directs attention to Jesus, Jesus directs his attention to God. And so Jesus comes holding fast to the declaration, to the Spirit that's given him, the promise that he is God's child. He calls others to enter into a similar reality and to embrace the good news that has come their way.